It's the truth, man, the future, you know.
We cut the lights off.
You got Jim Jones going viral in this video. 50 done leaked out here, man. You can see Jim Jones trying to kick down the door of his podcast studio, right? I'm like, damn, I thought you was balling. Jim Jones. Rappers love to brag and stun on people. You got a podcast, but you can't pay your rent for your podcast studio. It's Jim Jones, Dave East, Fabulous, and Mano doing this podcast, right? Yeah, y'all can't pay y'all rent. You can't pay your rent, but you run around here stunting on niggas. 50 Cent exposed this whole situation. I believe there was a time where the lights went off in the studio. Somebody was in the joint sneaking, recording. One of they mans, like somebody with them was sneaking, recording that joint. Now you got Jim Jones getting evicted. Well, all of them, not just Jim Jones, Dave East, Mano, Fab, all of them getting evicted, right? Jim Jones had called out 50 Cent over the documentary that 50 made of P. Diddy or whatever. Him and 50 went back and forth. Now you got 50 claiming he done bought the podcast studio, right? So if Jim Jones and them end up paying whatever they owe, they gonna be renting from 50. That boy 50 a fool, man. 50 a fool. Jim Jones been playing himself for a minute now, man. I don't know what's up with Jimmy, man. He been playing himself. He got the beef going on with Cam. Cam and Jim Jones, they been beefing over 50 Cent. Cam had 50 on his show. I believe Jim Jones got mad at what they was talking about because Cam brought up how Jim Jones and the nigga Joel Santana did a show with 50 back in the day when 50 was beefing with Cam. 50 and Cam had beef. They was throwing disses at each other or whatever. But Cam and 50 cool now, right? But Jim Jones is still beefing with Cam or whatever, man. That boy 50 be trolling, man. This nigga 50, this nigga beefing with everybody though, right? But this is a major L for Jim Jones, man. When you're a rapper and you be bragging, talking about the money you got, talking about all the things you be doing, dissing niggas and shit, and you're out here not being able to pay your podcast studio, then you're in a viral video banging on a joint. Like, nigga, what is you doing? What is you doing, man? Where Fab at, man? Fab, man, what's up, Fab? Like, man, look, I ain't about to be paying this shit by myself. Because Fab is the richest out the group, right? I like Fab, you know what I'm saying? Now, he might, backhand a bitch, but, besides that, you know what I'm saying? Fab cool, you know what I'm saying? But 50 done posted with the owner of the joint, Jackie Chain, Jackie Chain's the owner of the joint. I believe 50 allegedly bought the podcast studio, man. I'm trying to figure this out, man. I'm trying to figure out how 4 rappers can't afford a podcast studio. I'm trying to figure this out because you ain't never seen Mace And Cameron out here getting evicted from their podcast studio. And you're not going to see it. And you know what's crazy? Think about it, y'all. Y'all remember back in the day, being an internet nigga could get you clowned back in the day, right? That was the diss, man. Nigga, you an internet nigga, man. Internet ass nigga, man. Man, get out of here, man. Internet ass nigga. Now I ain't gonna say all of it, but a lot of rappers, damn near all, but a lot of rappers got podcasts now. These niggas all on the podcast wave now. We know rappers who've been on the podcast wave like Yak Mouth, been doing it for a long time. Joe Budden, been doing it for a long time. You know what I'm saying? Rappers like that. But now, everybody and their mama got a podcast. Fat Joe and Jada got a podcast. Now you got Tony Yayo and Uncle Murder with a podcast. You got Jim Jones and them getting the podcast after Jim Jones sat there trying to diss people who be on the internet, right? He was arguing with Shannon Sharp talking about, man, look, I don't do the internet shit, nigga. I ain't no podcast nigga, man. You know what I'm saying? We don't go in the same circle. I ain't no podcast nigga. I don't do the internet shit. Not only do you do the internet shit, you a podcast nigga. Because the only time Jim Jones go viral is from saying something on somebody's podcast. So the nigga that went from talking about I ain't no podcast nigga, he on the internet, on a podcast, and can't pay his studio rent. Now he going viral, banging on the door, trying to kick the door down. Nigga, they done changed the keys on this nigga. Goddamn, Jim Jones. Why does Jim Jones take so many L's? Why is this? Now, I believe Dipset is a legendary group. You know what I'm saying? Because you can have you cannot be legendary, but be part of a legendary group, right? Like, Offset's not a legendary rapper, but Migos are a legendary rap group. Like, Bone Thugs and Harmony individually, I wouldn't say are legendary rappers, but as a group, they're legendary. I can even say the same thing for City Girls, right? I believe they are I don't know, I might have to take that back, but, you know, I wouldn't argue with it, but, you know, they're a great hip-hop group, you know what I'm saying, City Girls, but solo-wise, you know, they're not. But Jim Jones is basically beefing with the top dog of Dipset. Cam was the leader of Dipset. Cam is, you know, my favorite Dipset member, even though Joel Santana was the best rapper in Dipset, right? You don't have Cameron basically saying, man, Joel's is lazy. Joel should be bigger than Joel's is. He said Joel's could have been the Jay-Z of Harlem or whatever like that, but I don't know what happened with Joel's, you know what I'm saying? But you got Cam out here going viral once again for some clown shit, man. This is embarrassing, my nigga. I remember they was in a joint, the same podcast studio. So let me get this straight. So this same podcast studio, they done had the lights getting cut off in the joint. They done allegedly had the heat getting cut off. They was getting flamed up. They had a little, you know, cookout in the joint where niggas had their coat on. It was like the heat got cut off in the joint. Now you done got locked out this joint, banging on the goddamn door. Jackie Chan probably in the joint shook like, damn, you know what I'm saying? You're lucky they ain't called the boys on your ass. And then you would have got locked up for trying to bust down the door of a podcast studio. This tells you a lot about rappers, man. You got to understand, a lot of these rappers do not make the money we think they make. They don't. You just have Boosie coming out and saying that, right? Boosie came out and was speaking on the whole Glorilla and her sister Brorilla situation. Boosie was basically saying, man, look, man, we ain't got the money y'all think we got, man. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got the money. Y'all think we got a lot of rappers don't got it. And Boosie was basically saying, if we took care of everybody, we'll be broke or whatever, right? A lot of these rappers don't got the money. They be flexing like they do. And a lot of people really don't feel sorry for rappers when they go broke. You know why people don't feel sorry for rappers when they go broke? Because rappers be the first one to stun on you, talk about what they got and what you ain't got, talk about how they'll take your bitch, talk about this. Like that's what rappers do, right? That's why don't nobody want to hear no rapper's sad story. Nobody want to hear how you went from balling to going broke. That's just it, man. You stun on people too much to be crying out here about going broke or whatever, man. Pay your goddamn rent, Jim Jones. Boy, that boy Jim Jones, the L's just keep on coming for these niggas, man. The L's keep on coming. Mano had took some L's going back and forth with DJ Academics. Nigga Mano out here talking about how he done spent like 10 bands, give or take, on a stripper joint, and was waiting for this joint outside, and Shorty went out the back door on him. Shorty said, man, look at you, boy, you green as hell, boy. Just cause you spend money on a stripper don't mean she gotta go home with you. I gotta let y'all niggas know this. Just cause you bought a bitch 1,000 drinks don't mean she gotta go home with you, nigga. Nigga out there in the parking lot waiting on a joint that ain't never came out. You should have kept that story to yourself, Mano. So Mano got clowned for that. Jim Jones been getting clowned. Y'all seen the joint, because remember, Jim Jones was talking about how Cameron was scared to come outside, woo woo. He talking like he big dog. He was like, Dame Dash really wasn't getting it like that. He was talking big talk, right? But then I did a video showing Jim Jones cartwheeling on a block. Nigga, Cameron got Jim Jones cartwheeling. You know what I'm saying? You did one hand joint. Jim Jones was in that video looking like a whole get wet. Tweaking. He looking like he's tweaking on something. Came over there, man. Hey, show him your cartwheel, Jimmy. I ain't see Cameron cartwheeling. I ain't see Cameron cartwheeling. So you trying to let us think Cameron was basically a nobody when we see the video of Cameron making you cartwheel, Jim Jones? What's up with that? Then you had the nigga Jim Jones getting into it with Dame Dash. Y'all remember I did a video about that. Jim Jones done brought the goons out there to fight old ass dad bod having ass Dame Dash. And look, Dame wanted to smoke. Dame was like, man, what's up? What's up? Chrissy out there, no, guys, no, don't do this. No, don't do this, guys. No. Jim Jones tried to get his mans to jump Dame Dash or whatever. They didn't even want to jump Dame Dash, right? They was probably like, oh, we about to hop in the car and go see a nigga, man. What's up? We did. We about to crush whoever, right? They get there and peep like, whoa, like, nigga, you getting into it with Dame? So the nigga, Jim Jones over there, man, punish the nigga, man. Trying to take the nigga shades off and shit. You can tell they had a lot of respect for Dame Dash. They really wasn't, trying to get with Dame Dash, right? So Dame over the joint telling the nigga Jim Jones he's a studio gangster. He ain't no real blood. He ain't no real gang member. You know what I'm saying? You know you gotta be a lame nigga to perpetrate a gang. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of these rappers be doing. You know what I'm saying? Niggas ain't real gang members like that. And shit. Bloods and gangs came to the East Coast probably in the 90s for real, right? That's a West Coast thing, right? Chicago been gang banging, you know what I'm saying, even before the East Coast. I believe Chicago probably been gangbanging as long as LA and California, or maybe before that, right? They just didn't have Bloods and Crips. They had Vice Lords and GDs and BDs and things like that, right? The GDs rock the blue, the Vice Lords rock the red. But that boy Jim Jones, man, keep taking L's, man. Boy, why you keep taking all these L's, my nigga? You might want to chill on all the shit you be talking, man. Niggas get online and talk shit and then try to talk shit about niggas that be online. If y'all ain't know, look, if you a washed up rapper, the internet is the play. The podcast is the play. You got rappers making more money than they ever made in the industry podcasting. Joe Budden has made more money doing the Joe Budden podcast than he made rapping. Y'all know Joe Budden got his, his little hit. I believe Joe Budden finally went platinum off his Pump It Up joint. Even though I did not like that song at all. But it took him 15 years to go platinum for Pump It Up. But that song is trash. You know what I'm saying? But hey, that's that man's song, it is what it is. But I really wasn't a fan of Joe Budden like that as far as rapping wise. But Joe Budden making the most money he made rapping. Cameron, Mace making the more money they ever made rapping. Them my dogs right there, right? Hey, Mace my mans. I like Cam, you know what I'm saying? Not a fan of Jim Jones. Obviously, y'all can see that or whatever, but hey, stop taking L's, my nigga, and pay your goddamn rent. Now 50 your landlord if you want to try to pay the joint. 50 your landlord. That boy 50 petty as hell, man. But if y'all ain't know, 50 Cent been trolling before trolling was called trolling. Like, literally. Nigga had the This Is 50 channel back in the day where he was doing the same shit he doing now. This ain't nothing new for 50 Cent. Trolling's a sport to this nigga, man. It's a sport. Nigga came out dissing rappers, holding his own, dissing 5 rappers on one track. Like, that's how 50 was going, right? 50 got the beefing with Fat Joe and them, Jadakiss and them. The only reason why 50 was throwing shots at them because at the time 50 was getting at Ja Rule and Murder Inc. and them and Irv Gotti and them. Rest in peace, Irv Gotti. 50 Cent was getting at them and 50 was like, oh, y'all gonna make a New York joint? The little New York track, hey, I give Ja Rule that was a hit, man. That song from New York, that shit's a classic, man. But they done jumped on the New York joint. 50 like, oh, y'all going like that? And 50 started, dissing them niggas. But 50 been trolling since trolling was actually called trolling. So this ain't nothing new for 50, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, ain't no way 50 can be doing all this and producing and, being an executive producer and things like that. I'm like, this nigga don't miss shit. He gotta have assistants, workers, or somebody. This nigga 50 don't miss anything, right? But 50 done bought the podcast studio allegedly, and he Jim Jones landlord. If Jim Jones and them gonna pay back for their studio, I'm out.